On the Owen Benjamin Show,
2175.
at 38 minutes into the episode, Owen Benjamin's like, am I wrong about my theories of calling out people like Joe Rogan, who's the gatekeeper of the comedy world? And he's questioning his whole point of existence, right? By being a bit of a rebel and being super honest about everything. And that's how it's forsaken his financial success, because he is brutally honest. He's not playing the game, right? He's like, am I doing the wrong thing? I just want to say, Owen Benjamin, you're doing the right thing. And he's like, where are my supporters? Your supporters are usually people without much influence, because they're looking after their family and they're not playing the game. So they're not billionaires, and they're not social engineering the kids in positions of media influence, like Mark Normand or Tim Dillon, these guys. So it's a crying shame. Something I'm working on myself is to try and balance integrity, honesty, and morality with success. Not for the sake so I can have a golden toilet or have 6 bowls of champagne every night, that Dom Perignon. It's because for the sake of the children. You may say, oh, big ego. Well, no, it's because I work in mental health and I've seen what happens when people have these degenerate idols. So there needs to be a marriage between morality and success. It's a very fine line, because normally you have to bend your will and lie, cheat and steal in order to be successful. You have to promote degeneracy, you have to promote tribalism, you have to say, I'm from the left wing, I'm from the right wing. And all these things don't make any sense. And so yeah, just to reiterate, people who are usually good people, who have a heart, they're not in a major position of influence. Or if they are, someone who's got elements of truth, like Nicholas Fuentes, they've got some issues, like, they've got issues with women, because they're not, they've just seen a lot of sluts get successful, and they're not exercising, so they're unfit, and so they're kind of negatively affected by all the bad food they eat. And like, they're all lone wolves. Like, anyone who's really authentic, they're all on their own. And that's one thing that the conservative, value-leaning men have as a fault, is that because they're so confident in themselves and they're influenced by people like Clint Eastwood, they think they can do it all on their own. And so yes, people like Nicholas Fuentes and Owen Benjamin have major differences, but in the essence, they are two of the few people who are telling it how it is, regardless of the consequences. And they're articulate as well. So these people, they should get together and team up, but obviously, they've got some fundamental differences. Firstly, age, and second, their upbringing. Like, I'm not sure what kind of school Nicholas Fuentes went to, but I'm pretty sure it was like a high income bracket than Owen Benjamin. So Owen Benjamin it's just a little more coarse, a little more vulgar, but he's more spiritual. Well, I mean, not Catholic, not Christian spiritual, but he's more intuitive, and also he's more involved with pattern recognition and myth busting, whereas Nicholas Fuentes is more factual in terms of just knowledge of all of the current events in politics, and he knows all the names. He's just got this encyclopedia style intelligence, where Owen Benjamin's more mathematical and pattern recognition skills. And so yeah, just to finish off, Owen Benjamin's advice in his videos is to say things like, get a family, stay sober, right? Get out of debt. And those things are all very well, but they can, like for example me, I live in a feminist world. Like, my wife earns more money than me, so I'm taking care of the baby and only working part-time, whereas if I was more of an asshole, I would just say, I don't give a shit. Just get a nanny, whatever. Just put her in public childcare. But because I have extra compassion and I'm a little worried about, getting the right person to look after our child, I'm taking a step back from my career. And so I'm less successful than I could be, meaning having less an influence. And I'm not saying a lot of men are like me, looking after their kids. But also I was hedonistic when I was young. I worshipped people like Jim Morrison, and I thought that the whole system was flawed, and I didn't value higher education as much as I should have, or didn't have the guts to try and do stand-up comedy. And so I believe I'm quite a moral person, and I have low influence, whereas someone like Geordie Shanks, this Australian YouTuber, he seems to me like less moral. He's got a great influence, because he backs up the Labour Party, whereas I refuse to endorse any political party because I feel like I don't have what it takes. I mean, obviously, I liked United Australia Party during COVID just because it was the only person that was, skeptical of the vaccine mandates. And that to me was imperative because it was just, I wasn't allowed to work because of it, and it just didn't seem rational. And now all the evidence shows that it wasn't rational at all. And so I was right in advocating for truth and justice and medical freedom, because never did the research dictate that one person needs to be vaccinated for the other person's vaccine to work well. I mean, in principle, that just doesn't even make any sense, and there was no evidence to even dictate that. So the police and the court system were unjust in mandating that in Melbourne, in Victoria, in Australia, many other places.